I am Brionté McCorkle. When I was young, I grew up as a military brat in the middle of the Mojave Desert. My mom served in the Air Force for 20 years. We were on this bubble in this desert, but it was a very diverse bubble. People from all over the world, and we felt, comfortable, and we felt safe, and that was, my early childhood. And then when I was 10, we were stationed at a new base in Warner Robins, Georgia. So we all hopped in the car and drove 4 days across the country. And I remember when we got to Georgia, when my mom says, "We're almost there," looking out the window to see what my new surroundings would be like, and being absolutely blown away because all I could see around me were forests, were trees, was a sea of green. What was also new and shocking to me was being in a community that wasn't quite as diverse as the military base. I remember going to my new school, expecting to make lots of friends, and it was the first time I really started to understand that Black folks, by far and by large, were also economically disadvantaged. At 10, seeing trees for the first time, also understanding class and race for the first time, have always been really formative experiences for me. The work that I do is really important because it's about advancing progress on environment while also advancing progress on social justice. My first full-time job was with the Georgia Sierra Club. I was tasked with helping to expand MARTA, the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority. The county that we were working to expand MARTA into was Clayton County, and residents of Clayton County had bus service. They had bus service for about a decade, and when the economy took a downturn, the county decided to cut bus service. People were literally stranded. They could not get to work, they could not get to school, they couldn't get to grocery stores or doctor's appointments. Young men were being put into prison because they were missing probation appointments. There was a very measurable decline in the quality of life in this community. So we planted seeds everywhere we went, and those seeds grew into this movement of people who were all very clear, saying, "We want transit expanded, we want to join MARTA." So it really came down to the wire, but it did pass. And once the room understood that it passed, it just erupted in celebration, and people were cheering, and people were hugging each other, embracing each other, crying. I was crying. What was so transformational about it was that I started with an environmental message, and then I learned that I had to lead instead with this economic message, with the social justice message, because that is where people's minds were. So when I'm asked why the work I do is important, it's because we know climate change is a critical challenge that we have to deal with, and we have to deal with it quickly. We also know that communities of color, low-income communities, these are the communities that are on the front lines of climate change. They're also on the front lines of environmental pollution. And the narrative is that they don't care about environmental issues, and that's just not true. They do care. But you have to meet communities where they're at. Environment isn't just about protecting a stream or protecting these trees or protecting this animal. It's about making sure that we can keep going generation after generation after generation. On a beautiful, warm summer day, I love being out in a field, playing with my daughter and playing with my kids, and then sometimes I'm struck by the thought that if we don't act now, that she won't have the same opportunity with her kids. And so I really want us to know as an environmental community, this is about us just as much as it is about the trees and the streams and the animals. It's about us.